Hello.
There's the doorbell. Oh, it's Johnny. He's here.
We might as well just start recording since the guys are already doing like the AI versions that are going to replace me eventually.
I gotta do that. I was
coming.
gonna do a John impression, but I'm trying to like veer away from doing like a robot impression.
Okay.
Hello. This is John. Welcome to my podcast. These
What's
are my
happening
friends.
to that robot?
I'm trying to limit my movements because I'm trying to actually do the robot while I'm trying not to be a robot. That makes any sense?
That's dedication.
Right. Yeah.
Hello.
Because all the listeners will be able to see you doing the robot.
Right.
It's the puppet master.
It just sounds like the robot so desperately wants to be in a ska band. It's just, 10% there.
Hello.
This is why our analytics show most of our audience like turns off the first like 40 seconds.
Yep. That is exactly right.
Welcome to episode 66. Execute episode 66. Huh?
There you go.
Okay. That's have we done a Star Wars pod yet? We've not done a Star Wars pod yet.
We have not.
No.
We have we should do an obscure bullshit Star Wars pod or something.
We shouldn't. We would be the worst Star Wars podcast.
Yes.
There's
We
so
are kind of stealing that Rebels emblem, though.
that's true.
True.
Yeah, we don't want to bring any more attention to
it's
ourselves.
it's kind of part of our core brand.
People are like, "What's that about?" You're like, "It's a nod to something we don't do."
We don't want Lucas to catch wind of what we're up to.
There's a real danger. It seems like he's not really busy at the moment.
He would 100% sue us.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh.
I wish we could have like famous special guests on our podcast.
Yep.
So, and then we could do a Star Wars episode because I'd love to have on Bill Hader, but he could show up and he could guest star as Darth Hader.
That's great.
I like it.
Like, good one.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're
Bill,
welcome.
Bill Hader, actual Star Wars voice actor.
Indeed.
Turns out,
That's
he
true.
was
BB-8.
BB-8 for sure. We may or may not have for a long time referred to a certain mutual friend of Eric and myself as BB Nate. That's neither here nor there. He was just
Oh man,
rolling around for
you
like
just doxed him.
Just
What are you doing?
okay.
What
No
is
first name.
Huh?
There was no last name.
There was no yeah, or maybe that was the last name. BB
Yeah.
was like the first
BB
name.
BB
We
was the
didn't
first
actually-
name, like BB King.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like the podcast has
BB
a kind of like a
BB
Da
boy.
Vinci Code sort of national treasure thing going, and we added a crucial piece of the puzzle.
Do you think we've revealed too much?
I think it's like noticing kind of Child's Jacket at the end of the thing. It's like there's that. It seems minor at first, but when you take a look at it, there's really something there.
Yeah, that's where I was going with it.
Welcome to
No, it wasn't.
episode 66 of Rebels Without a Pod. Eric just took a little bow.
Wait,
Huh?
stop.
What's up?
Episode 666.
Fingers
Today's
crossed.
the 5th, though. We blew it.
Yeah, I was going to say none of us are living that long, but
No,
Probably,
but, you know,
not.
right.
Oh, God, I hope not.
with the movie we watched and the things,
I like it.
we'll put the third 6 in parentheses.
Welcome to episode 666
There it is.
of Rebels Without a Pod, show that dares ask the question, and this might be a little uncomfortable. So you can rob trains and banks, but you can't steal this podcast for just one night.
Yeah.
What I did?
You cleaned it up. You cleaned it up.
You see what I
Yeah.
did?
You did.
Podcast was not the word she said in the movie.
No.
No, it definitely was
No.
not. But it was
No.
another P word.
It was another P word. It was
True.
not podcast, though.
No,
Puppy dog.
there wasn't.
It was joining me tonight.
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's right.
It's
No,
just
that's
kinda
where
like
I'm
a
going-
movie,
that's where
like
I'm going with
the sun is sort of a big part of this film.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're not entirely incorrect.
It's integral. That's true.
Yeah. Andy, who does our artwork and graphic design.
Hello.
Naveen on music and audio production.
Howdy, howdy.
Eric's here too, but bad news, you guys. They picked Pod Daddy clean. Are you trying to whistle?
I was going straight from the Stoutfire.
Mhm.
He's trying to be BB-8.
Mhm.
How does BB-8's voice go?
Something like that. Who knows?
Oh my God, did Bill Hader just join the show?
Wait,
No, he did not.
Oh, God damn it. All our content is currently up on the Rebels Without a Pod YouTube channel. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. 2 major milestones for us to shout out over like the past week. 8,000 plus collective views on the channel a few days ago. Thank you everybody for
Oh, wow.
yeah, kind of like the clicks and the time. And also one of our Spinal Tap shorts, for whatever reason, ended up becoming like the 3rd highest viewed thing we've ever kind of put up on the channel.
Go figure.
Go
telling
figure.
you, Spinal Tap 2 coming out soon.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say the same thing. Spinal Tap 2 coming out. I wonder if that's the reason.
Right. It's interesting. It's maybe notable because we don't actually make any jokes on that short. It's literally just like a minute straight of kind of me describing like the movie and everybody saying, "Yeah, it's pretty good." maybe that says something, you guys. Maybe we should zag.
Yeah.
I don't think people like us.
Yeah, John's
Put
like,
our
maybe
shorts in there.
you should just shut up and let me take over. You don't need us. This is all you, buddy.
No, this is all us, at least until like the AI bots come for our jobs.
Yep.
That is true. Who's to say we're not already replaced by AI?
Mm-hmm. Like a sort of like Matrix, we're all just kind of battery situation.
I'm telling you,
Mm.
man. I believe that conspiracy theory. Actually, no. I brought this up when me and Andy did that like duo pod last year.
Oh,
We
right,
were
like
talking about,
the 2 hour and 45-minute pod where you talked about human centipedes, and you also started with Johnny's probably going to die in a mega quake.
Yeah,
Covered
That's
a lot
the
of
one.
ground that episode.
that was
That's
it. Yeah,
true.
and you survived, buddy. Yay!
Yeah.
Hey.
I
Really
survived.
dodged
and
the
now we
bullet
can
there.
live through all this.
Yeah, avoid that earthquake and that human centipede, and you're here with us,
Right.
nice and healthy.
Right. In a world that kind of feels like an earthquaking human centipede just all the time. But
Exactly. But fill in the gaps for me. So that science fiction book that you lent to me, where it's all about how a computer is tasked with, I guess
is this Andy or is this me?
this is you.
Oh, the metamorphosis of prime intellect.
Thank you. I always lean towards maybe like a Philip K. Dick like title, and then I'm like, no, it's not that. It's something different. Because this is the only book I've read by that guy.
Uh-huh.
And it's really fascinating because again, it's all about how like a computer, in order to save the human race, pretty much makes a carbon copy digitally inside the computer itself, and kills off the human race so that the human race eternally exists, but just you can't like die in like the space you're in.
Right. Everybody's basically, your conscious gets downloaded, and everybody kind of ended up like in the metaverse finally.
Exactly. So it starts out where it's like some persons like every day they just go through the routine of being like murdered like a million different ways.
Right.
And they're like, it's not interesting anymore.
It's like people have it basically, like the concept is people have existed for thousands of years. Everybody is bored. everybody is like losing their minds. So like the day-to-day reality, these people are like, what's the craziest and worst day I could actually kill myself just to kind of feel something novel, just to feel something unique.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah. That's
The killing, the weekly killing is us recording this podcast. God, it hurts.
it's either we do this or start giving each other rabies.
Yeah, whatever. Either way, I feel alive.
Mm.
Did any of you watch the Prime Video show, Amazon Prime Video show, Upload?
No.
Upload.
Yeah, it's very similar. I just finished it actually today. I liked it, enjoyed it, but basically, before you die, they try to upload you so that way you can live forever, and then you can still interact with the real world, but you're digitally recreated and things.
Interesting. Oh, that Netflix show from a couple years back, Altered Carbon, had like a pretty like kind of similar principle.
Oh yeah.
Yep, yeah. I watched the first season. Had trouble watching the second season, so I never actually finished the second
It's
season.
because Anthony Mackie sucks.
You heard it.
It could be one.
You heard it here, not first, but I don't know what it is. I don't know.
He's the worst.
Uh-huh.
I mean, another option we could do is we go the Futurama route, where they just like preserve your head in a jar.
Yeah.
So you live forever, yay, and you get to witness like the death of humanity and the destruction of Earth.
Right.
Slowly.
Get fed from like a little shaker.
Yeah, I know. They have a little shaker with like the fish food, and they're like,
And if you're Beck, you still get to tour a full range of America's best mid-sized venues. Yeah. Why is this not an early Futurama pod?
it should be.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that show
Really?
almost at all.
Wow.
I don't know
Watched it
why.
early, but I lost touch with it.
Same
It's
here.
very much my style. It's something I should absolutely have watched and enjoyed, but I never did.
It has 4 amazing years, and then sort of like there's a real up and down that kind of follows it. I think it's mostly it's kind of at this point sort of a shadow of what used to be. But back in the day, it was the best of its kind of thing, like on TV.
But that's what happens to all shows that go, too long.
Mm.
Yeah. I was gonna say, look at Arrested Development.
Mm-hmm.
Love that show. Loved it. And then when they brought it back on Netflix, I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess they're kind of doing that same thing they're doing before. It just doesn't work the same
Not
way.
as good.
Right.
No, they lost the magic.
Definitely not as good.
It came out for like a 4th season on Netflix. Everybody was kind of like, yeah, it's sort of fine. And then a 5th season came out the same week. News basically broke that Jeffrey Tambor was crazy and yelling and abusive constantly to kind of Jessica Walters on set while they were making the show. And I think like everybody collectively, the culture at the same time just kind of went, yeah, we're done with this.
Yeah, it ran its course.
Yeah. And then Jason Bateman started podcasting, and then here we are today.
I'm telling you, it's still going. They're doing pretty well.
Yeah. Today we're kicking off our top of the queue movie cycle. Simple concept: we watch and discuss 4 films queued on our streaming services that we've just been meaning to get to forever. We're starting off with Andy's pick, Ryan Coogler's 2025 horror musical hit, Sinners. First, though, before we kind of get into like the movie itself, I wanted to just give like a few minutes. This theme was Andy's pick for a new rotation. I was really excited. I thought it was like a really interesting idea to kind of build like a kind of a series of episodes around this. I wanted to just kind of chat with you guys like a little bit kind of more generally about sort of like the top of the queue phenomenon, how it's kind of, even though I don't feel that there is a kind of like a shared recognition of like this exact thing, but when Andy sort of brought it up, I was immediately like, I know exactly what he's talking about with this. I tried to do like a little bit of research. There's not much kind of modern information out there right now about like on streaming services, how big people's kind of queued movies get, how long those kinds of like movies kind of sit there for, what kinds of movies end up falling into kind of that odd category of like, I've been meaning to kind of watch this forever. But I did like a bunch of research, and I found this piece from Newsweek by an author named Brad Stone back in 2006 that talks about the mail in DVD rental kind of phase of of early Netflix, and how the author was kind of just, he was also kind of honing in on like a similar sort of phenomena. So I want to read you just like a very short kind of just clip from like the article right here. Then we can maybe kind of talk a little bit about kind of what your guys' perspective on this is. This Brad Stone writing, he says, City of God, the award-winning 2002 Miramax film about the slums of Rio de Janeiro, is the most expensive film I've never watched. By my calculation, it has so far cost me $66. I heard it's pretty great. Perhaps you're familiar with the following dynamic. Film is highly recommended. Film appeals to intellectual and aesthetic sensibilities. Film is added to the Netflix queue and soon appears in the mail in that unassuming but somehow pushy red stripe envelope. Temperament, timing, and ambience is never quite right for the film's subject matter, in this case, brutal and depressing. Film sits on TV for a year, taking up valuable space on Netflix queue and inflicting pangs of guilt and regret. Said intellectual and aesthetic sensibilities are called into question when the 40-year-old virgin at the same time is watched and then very quickly returned. I had City of God in my possession for 11 months, during which I paid $18 a month for a 3 DVD at a time Netflix subscription. Finally, I returned the movie in defeat while delusionally re-adding it to the back of my queue. The digital revolution has introduced us all to the life-altering phenomenon known as asynchronous entertainment. We can now enjoy movies, TV shows, and our favorite media sources wherever, whenever we want. But a decade into this monumental shift, the drawbacks are coming into focus. Episodes of The Daily Show and Letterman pile onto our DVR television recorders like copies of The New Yorker, begging to either be consumed or wastefully discarded. Netflix movies line up on our shelves like airplanes on a runway waiting to take off. And all of those blog postings relentlessly flood into our web browsers every hour, every day. There's certainly not time for all of it. Is this entertainment? It feels a bit more like homework. So Andy, I kind of want to start with you on this. When you suggested the concept, this theme, like originally, were you kind of thinking about the theme and some of those terms, or was it more just like a general idea of like, why don't we like dig around in our backlogs?
So honestly, I didn't really think about it as our actual cues in Netflix or Hulu or Disney or whatever else. Mm-hmm. It was more just like, and I'll explain kind of why in a little bit when we get into the next portion. But to me, it was more of just like, oh man, that's a movie that I've really wanted to see that I haven't quite gotten around to. Not that it was necessarily at the quote unquote top of the queue, just that it was something that like I've been wanting to watch for a long time and haven't had a reason or had a good excuse or haven't had the opportunity to actually get to.
The vibe sort of thing they talk about in that article.
Exactly what he said in that article. That's exactly right.
Naveen, Eric, anything to add to that? Is this a thing that you kind of find for like your streaming services or your cable subscriptions or whatever else? Do you find things kind of back up like the same sort of way?
Definitely. I do. I was going to bring up that same idea. It's just, you put it there because you want to see it. You've heard about it. It's good, but you're not ready to watch it. You don't have that. You're not in the mood for that kind of film. And then it just kind of gets pushed by the wayside. And I know kind of answering one of the questions that you had early, but again, it's the mood. It's also, you see something that's that was big, but it's more recent. So you jump on it so you can watch it, be with it the times. And some of those older movies kind of get pushed back that way as well, for myself at least.
Sometimes water cooler sort of things come in that supersede like the more sort of serious or kind of long held like films that you have.
Right. Yeah. So that's where I'm with that. What about you, Eric?
Yeah. Usually for me, I don't actually I don't have like a queue. Like I don't add stuff to my wish list on any of the streaming services at all. It's just like a mental thing for me. I'm like, hey, that movie looks really good. I see a trailer for something. I'm like, I want to see that. I kind of put it there in the filing cabinet in my brain. But the problem with there being so many streaming services nowadays it's like you're getting exposed, or again, like you mentioned, you pick up your phone, you look at, like, you get the Google News. What are the new movies coming out? What new TV shows are coming out? You get trailers all over YouTube. It's just like constantly stuff is replacing what's in that mental queue that I have. So, and I find myself more often, the mental queue, especially if it pertains to movies, is more what's at the theaters that I really want to see. How am I going to like make the time to see it?
Right.
And then my backlog is all those movies that I said I was going to go see at the theaters that I didn't actually make it to. So now I got to find out when it's going to start appearing on like a streaming service. So then tracking that down, like Sinners, for example. That's a great example of a movie that you brought up, but I mean, I was aware of it as well. And it's just being like, okay, am I going to be able to make it to the theaters to see it or not? And then it's like, okay, it's on HBO Max, but when does it come out? But I have like, I went to Japan at the time, so I couldn't actually watch it. So I'm like, okay, now how do I work that to my schedule? So it's kind of like constantly chasing stuff to see it, and then only seeing a fraction of what I intend to like set out to see.
I had the Bong Joon-ho film 2019 Best Picture winner Paradise on my HBO Max.
Parasite.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were not living in paradise.
No,
Parasite lost.
Yeah. I had Parasite on my queue for years. They finally took it off of HBO Max, and just immediately there is like there's that little moment like a regret, that little moment. Oh shit, I was going to get to that eventually. God damn it! Now I still want to see that. He's one of my favorite directors. Do I have to pay for this thing if I want to watch it? Parasite came on to Netflix a week after left HBO Max. I was like, cool, fantastic. Put it back on my Netflix queue, and then went another 6 months without watching it. And I only got to it earlier this week to begin with because of this monthly movie club I'm doing at my job, where basically the instruction was we're going to do international movies, and everybody voted for Parasite because it's exactly one of those films. Like, when we had the conversation at work, it was exactly what we're describing here. I've been meaning to see it forever, just not one of those things I kind of just got around to.
So you can confirm that it was a thriller comedy, right?
It starts out funny.
Super funny.
Yeah.
Super funny.
Yeah. But so let me ask you guys this. There is also this element of sometimes you really want to engage with the film, but sometimes you just want to be entertained. Parasite is a great example of this, of like a movie that starts really fun, starts very entertaining, but goes down in just changes in a way that is certainly smart and earned and graceful, but it is a much more serious, much more socially conscious film by the end, and certainly it's the kind of it in some ways you could call it sort of like the furthest thing from like entertainment, like on where the film like ultimately lands. It ends up in a place, no spoilers, but very sad, very serious. That sort of just leaves you feeling like a bit heavy at the end of it. For the movies that you guys find yourself just kind of putting off over and over again, do you feel like that kind of film that has kind of things that are, this might be a bummer, this might be a bit more serious, have a bit more weight, require a bit more of my attention? Do you guys feel those are often the films that you kind of clock to watch at some point, but you often end up sort of putting off?
100%.
Definitely, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's always those that get pushed to the back of the queue. I want, generally speaking, when I'm sitting down to watch a movie, I want to be entertained in a way that is not going to leave me bummed out too much. Hopefully I'm going to laugh a little bit. Or at the very least, I'm going to be on the edge of my seat because it's super action packed, or, it's a thriller or something like that. Anything that's like drama, historical, doesn't mean I don't enjoy those movies, because oftentimes I do. But they're definitely not the first thing I want to sit down and watch most of the time.
All right, hear me out. I got this great movie I could suggest for you. It's called Cry Wilderness. It's got lots of action.
Oh yeah,
there's a Sasquatch.
What?
Raccoon abuse.
Okay.
You should
I like
see
that.
these guys. They were kind of the original Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Lots of laughter, if that's your thing.
Who's
Danny
laughter, though?
It's not a
and
funny movie. There's just lots of laughter that you kind of like want to get in on that.
Okay. I'll add it to the top of my queue.
Danny and Indian Jim and Eric. Can you name the other two guys?
Did they call him Indian Jim, or did they just call him Jim?
It's implied. They every time they say Jim, they have a toe.
There's also like that one scene where he's what does he say? What does Danny say? Or Paul? Paul says something about like he's like you're a bad Indian or something.
No,
or,
you're a big dumb Indian, as I think.
You're a big dumb Indian, and I was just like, hey, come on.
Eric is just eating popcorn, being like top of the queue for this one.
Give me more. Andy's got to see this. He would love it.
Let's get into like the movie though. So Sinners is a 2025 horror musical produced, written, and directed by Ryan Coogler. Didn't actually know about the writing part. We all have synopsis in brief. I'm going to lead with this. This is not original. This is actually one out of probably every 5 Letterboxd reviews makes the same fucking joke, but I kind of like this too much. Synopsis in brief. Finally, they cast Michael A. Jordan in something.
Come on.
Come on.
Yikes.
Shanapal.
I herald Michael A. Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Synopsis in brief. Anybody else?
Yes, I'll do mine. Let's see if you get it. I paused the movie for 1 second, and then when I started the movie again, they just gave me the gold that I needed. Synopsis in brief. I did it all for the nookie.
Nice.
Synopsis in brief. The word was pussy, by the way.
Not
Not
photosynthesis.
Hey. Well, we look like a science podcast.
So I have now decided that I'm not good at synopsis in brief. So I'm gonna lean into being really bad at it, and I'm going to start saying things that I'm hoping somebody picks up on. I know it's going to be anybody in this group, but I hope somebody gets this. My synopsis in brief: I don't say blah blah blah. Did anybody get that?
Yes.
Tell Transylvania.
Of
course.
Yes.
Blah, 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 blah.
Andy, it's a little hurtful. Though what you just said sort of underestimates our just cosmic level of obscure bullshit that we respond to.
The only one that I thought really stood a chance of knowing was Eric, because he's got young kids. I didn't think for 1 second that Johnny, that you would get it, or Naveen, that you would get it.
I've watched all those movies on planes. Every time I watch one, I'm like, shit, I should have caught this in the theater when it was there.
They're great.
They're great. It's so
Love
funny.
Love them.
I have not seen one in the theater. I don't know what would bring me to a theater to see one, but at home,
I don't think I'd ever see that in the theater.
They're nice, good movies.
I think it was the third one. Somebody was like a Drac. You have Bluetooth? He's like, yes, Bluetooth. Come here, Bluetooth.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's solid. Humor.
I was flying to Japan. I rewound it 3 times. I think I ordered a glass of Merlot.
Of course you did.
That's
Naveen, you got one?
I got a synopsis in not so brief.
Not so brief. Let's do it.
What are we going to call that, by the way? Is that synopsis in long form?
It's not really a synopsis.
Synopsis in Synopsis in boxers.
Synopsis in length.
Yeah.
Synopsis
in brief is already kind of like a redundant thing. It's
Synopsis in long johns.
Yeah.
It only took us 66 episodes to realize that. Naveen, what do you got?
Well, we are called rebels without a pod.
Yeah,
none of those things are true either. So
truth.
It's true.
Yeah. All right, I'll give it a shot. See if it hits. All right. I want to make a movie. It'll be a period piece. Take place in the South in the early 1900s. The movie will speak of the racism happening, the hard work needed to stay afloat, along with some crime as a means to an end. We will throw in some elements of folklore, mysticism, voodoo, and religion. add some themes of sex, adultery, infidelity, issues of I wrote it. Oh, interracial issues of interracial relationships, and different types of family relations, from abuse to an open-hearted family. That all sounds great, but it's missing something. I just can't put my finger on it. Eureka! Vampires. Vampires. It'll be a blockbuster now.
Oh my God. I was waiting for you to say cunnilingus, and then we were all going to clap, but
I thought it was going to be great. So what's this movie called? That Pussy Got Ate.
Oh, yes. Yes, that was it. That was it. Fuck.
This is
such a missed opportunity.
Always love you.
The only thing this movie really missed was like Delroy Lindo's fourth wife showed up at the Juke at one point, played by like Alfie Woodard, or like some really like intense older actress, and she's just like, "You motherfucker." And then he just throws himself to the vampires at the end. It stars Michael B. Jordan in dual roles as criminal twin brothers Smoke and Stack, with Haley Steinfeld, Miles Canton, Jack O'Connell, Wunmi Mosaku, and Delroy Lindo. The film, set in 1930s Mississippi, follows a structure reminiscent of 90s horror classics like From Dusk Till Dawn, the obvious touch point, and also Tales from the Crypt presents Demon Night. Half an all-in-the-day story about a juke joint blues show run by the twins, half a supernatural horror film where the concertgoers must defend the juke against a siege led by Irish hive mind vampire Remick. The film was a critical and commercial hit, receiving high critic acclaim, currently standing at 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, and earning $366 million worldwide, making it the 12th highest grossing horror movie of all time, sitting currently between Hannibal and The Nun. Rolling Stone critic A.A. Dowd wrote the director was, quote, swinging wide and far beyond the boundaries of franchise fare, while Peter Travers of ABC News declared Sinners his favorite movie so far of 2025, calling it Coogler and Jordan's best and most daring work to date. So, Andy, this was your cycle. This film was your pick. General impressions. Let's start with you.
So another thing I've decided is that I'm going to lead all of my general impressions from this point forward, announcing what my Letterboxd rating is going to be for them. I have not put it onto Letterboxd yet.
I was going to say, Johnny already knows it.
Yeah, this will be the unveiling.
Yeah.
Nope, he doesn't know. I've decided that in my eyes, this is a 3.5 star movie.
A 3.5 star.
3.5
Yeah.
out of 5.
Where does that fall compared to like your other reviews?
I have no idea.
He just rated Fantastic Four also at a 3.5.
What a coward. Come on, man. 4. You give it a 4.
Wait a minute. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I explained
4
this
stars.
to Johnny.
Here's the thing. Here's Johnny Storm. Here's Reed Richards.
I explained this to Johnny earlier when I first joined Letterboxd. My ranking system on Letterboxd is wildly inaccurate, and you can't take really anything from it. So the fact that I've got, apparently Fantastic Four at 3.5, which I wouldn't have known, and now Sinners at 3.5, and probably something else that's worse than both of those movies also ranked at a 3.5.
Superman got 3.5, I want to say.
Consistency out the window.
Right.
You guys are sitting all over the place. You missed the 4 for the review for Fantastic Four. Devine drops the ball on That Pussy Got Ate. Should have dropped that one. That one was like,
I think that was too obvious.
That one is waiting. It was waiting to be dropped. It's like the baby back ribs.
It was too obvious.
Come on.
So, Andy, 3.5 stars, essentially a meaningless rating from you on Letterboxd. But what did you think about the film itself?
That's correct.
He's like, the thing doesn't qualify as human. We'll give him half.
So I'm going to say, I think it started off a bit slow. And the pacing was certainly in that first half was a little bit off for me. That said, that doesn't necessarily mean that I didn't enjoy myself. I just think that because there was plenty that happened in that first half of the film that I found enjoyable. The music was great. The cinematography was awesome. I liked several of the characters, not all of them, but I liked several of the characters. Once it jumped into the vampire part, I think, obviously pacing picked way up. I think, honestly, it kind of pulled me a little bit out of the movie, some of that quick pacing, because I felt like there were, I don't know how best to explain it. There were some holes or some inconsistencies in the way the actors were portraying the characters.
Okay.
That almost felt like they got pulled out of it being a period piece, and more it was just a vampire movie.
Well, some part of that is like a lot of those characters actually got turned into vampires. But
well, sure, there's that.
Yes.
Fine.
But
all in all, I would say it was a good watch, and I'm glad I saw it.
So a couple immediate kind of follow-up questions for you right away. First, did you know this was a vampire? Did you have any sense that this was a vampire movie, or there is that turn at the midpoint?
So I did know, based on whatever spoilers that I had come across in the past. I wish I hadn't known. I wish that it was a complete surprise to me, but it was not something I wrote very early on in the movie, prior to the vampire stuff happening. I said, knowing that vampire stuff is coming gives the non-vampire stuff a sense of foreboding and tension, that I don't think would have been there had I not known that vampires were coming. I think I probably would have been like, what is this ultimately gonna, what is this? What is this movie supposed to be?
Interesting. Immediate second follow-up question, but like I said in the intro, the real big obvious touchstone that they're drawing from here is Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez's, I think, 1998 film From Dusk Till Dawn. You, as kind of like the person who probably enjoys horror generally the least of us, do you have any kind of personal history with that movie?
I've watched it a bunch of times, and I love it.
A bunch of times. Interesting.
Love that movie. It's one of from that era. It's one of my favorite movies.
So the concept of the first half of this is kind of an on the road movie, is an all of one night movie, and then it suddenly pivots. Boom, bunch of vampires, people trying to survive till dawn. That's not even like an unprecedented thing for you. That's a structure that you've seen before in a movie that you like, that you have a history with.
Absolutely.
Interesting. All right.
Absolutely.
Let's go to Papa. What'd you think of this one?
I feel like I was misled, because I was expecting this to be a movie about haints, and then it was about vampires, and I was like, oh fuck. Well, that just soured it for me.
Can you tell me what a haint is? Because I wrote it down, yes. Haint ? And then I never looked.
I looked up haints. I want to know more about haints. I was like, what is this haint they keep talking about? And my notes are written in chicken scratch, so I'm going to try to interpret them the best I can. Haints are also, it could be, I guess the best way to think about it is haunts, like a ghost or an evil spirit. This has to do with Southern folklore, especially in South Carolina and Georgia. And I guess it could mean a bunch of different things. It could be ghosts, spirits, things that just kind of hang around and haunt you. But I guess back in the day, people that believed in this stuff, what they would do is they would actually paint their porches with this color of paint called haint blue. And they did this to ward off malevolent spirits.
Okay.
And kind of, just this is an interesting little kind of William Faulkner kind of pivot from Papa here, but the Southern folklore kind of concept of haints, was there anything about sort of vampirism? Was it kind of reminiscent, or was it kind of vampire adjacent at all, or was it just kind of purely it's more kind of like a ghost, like an evil sort of kind of spirit or juju kind of thing?
Sure. Yeah. You're asking me the question.
Yes. Were these
I'm
things?
sorry. I thought you were going to educate us on.
Did these things actually
No.
resemble vampires? Is what I'm curious about.
No. It's the definitions seem very loose in how people interpreted them. It might be just like evil spirits that just kind of hang around and just kind of haunt you. I don't know if you actually see them, or it's more just something that just kind of like, I don't know, bad juju that kind of like sits on, like weighs on you or something like that.
Right.
And so maybe as thinking about it as like a vampire, maybe it's something that kind of feeds off your energy.
Okay.
And makes you feel like shit. So then you paint your house baby blue.
I was kind of wondering if this was going to lead into you like announcing that you're renovating, but
no.
Maybe no. Just like the fact we're north of the Mason-Dixon. It's like, it's like the same way we don't get certain kinds of peach mold in like the Northeast. Probably ain't nothing to worry about.
Don't. Just don't. Just don't.
There it is.
And you said you didn't want kids. You're already prepped and ready to be a dad.
That comes around all the time, though.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Dad jokes. You said it multiple times.
Yeah. Just ugh. I thought it was a great film. I agree with Andy. I think the second half was definitely stronger, but that pulled me more into the film. And then it actually made me appreciate more what the director was trying to do in that first half of the film, which is like, hey, the boys are back in town. They're reconnecting with like all their old buddies. They have this new business venture they want to get going. They're like, I wish they actually had more of a band. Like it was just like old friends that all played different instruments, and it was all finding them in their current situations to see how they all kind of got out of music, and he's like, hey, let's all get back together and do this like one big thing.
Right.
And
it's pretty easy to kind of talk everybody into it because they're showing up with money. They're showing up with promise of like a bigger audience. They're showing up promise in the case of Delta Slim. You got to try this Irish beer, man. I don't know what to tell you.
No, that was something. How about cornbread doesn't actually eat cornbread? What the fuck? Give the man some cornbread. So he's on like, he's a bouncer for the club, right? He's sitting there and they're like, cornbread, what are you doing? More people got in. And he just has his mouth full of cornbread. And he's like, so many.
So he's like Wimpy from Popeye, basically.
What's that stupid line? It's just like, I'll give you a burger
I'll
now.
gladly pay you Tuesday for Tuesday or something.
Some bullshit.
Thinking about cornbread, I sometimes think about like this podcast, like a little bit like Nothin is kind of like the cool guy that's kind of like the bouncer at the front of the club, and Andy and Eric and myself are like the three weird white guys just outside with our guitars, just going like,
join the family. Want an Irish beer?
Got that vibe.
Big poor Robin clean.
Yeah. Nothin's like, you're still not getting in.
Yeah, I know. You like to juke? You're not juking tonight.
Back to the line.
Oh, it hurts. But I thought it was a great film. I loved the whole thing, the story that the vampire reveals, Remick reveals, where he's just like, did you know this guy? I know everything that these people that I've taken over, I know what they're thinking. And this guy's actually, what is he, like the nephew of like his
uncle or his father was the guy that actually sold the twins, like the Jew, like at the start of the film.
Exactly. And he's like, you know what? They're just gonna fucking murder you.
Yeah.
And then I'm like thinking, if I was the director, how would I end this film? Let's just mow those mofos down.
Right.
Like, what a way to go. That the ending solidified it for me. And then the post-credit scene. That's it. I'm out.
The post-credit scene where Haley Steinfeld just kind of shows up as like one of the fly girls from In Living Color.
She just shows up and just kind of like does like a little nip slip, and then she just cuts the credits.
Right.
Michael B. Jordan was, Kid and Play, one of the Kid and Play.
Or Radio Raheem, like it's that's a great point. I want to circle back to like the Remick vampire thing, like detail, because it's really, I think, one of the most interesting parts of the film. But like Naveen, let's get to your general impressions first.
This was a good movie. I liked it. This was actually my second time watching it. I did watch it earlier. and I did not know of the vampire stuff. I thought it was just another, down south
period piece.
Thought it was haints, right? Haints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No-
See?
Nothing with Haints. I thought it was more of a crossroads thing. You go to crossroads, you try to sell your soul to a demon to, be a better. And it kind of started that way, to be a better musician.
Yeah, it kind of was.
And then over the credits, they play Wu-Tang Clan, Ain't Nothing to Hate With.
Oh God.
Yeah, maybe. So when it turned to that vampire stuff, I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And, it kind of caught me off guard. So it was like, first watch, it was like, okay. But now that I knew what was coming the second time, like, it was actually,
So on your first watch, when like the vampire stuff and the Coogler said directly Metallica inspired electric guitar stings kind of start hitting. Were you excited or just confused?
I mean, it was interesting. I was kind of confused that it took that turn. Again, expecting another, demon, make me the best musician ever and I'll sell my soul to you kind of thing.
Right.
So, it was just confusing a little bit, and just watching it through, and it was neat watching it at that point still, but confused. But now knowing, second time going into it, I really enjoyed it more. So knowing what was happening and how it played out, how it worked through, and then really taking a deeper look, the beginning kind of gave some of that stuff away as well. The music sometimes brings evil, with it. So
right.
That kind of helped out now doing it a second time and watching it more closely than before.
Gotcha.
Did you see the post credit scene where Black Panther shows up and he's trying to enlist Haley as the next Hawkeye?
I missed that one.
I like it. Just it's more continuity than the actual MCU is committed to, like these last few years.
Look, yeah. He does. Coogler does. He actually wrote and directed Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. He's like, look, I just got to keep it going. Make it a trilogy.
Right. The only post credit scenes I got was, who did what language dubbing for the actors. That's the only thing I saw.
You went way too far.
I went way too far. Okay, gotcha.
You don't need any of that.
This was a German actor who played, Haley Steinfeld's character, and this was the.
Were you like, ja?
Yeah, I was quite impressed. I mean,
it's also Haley Steinfeld, but under like a pseudonym that doesn't include that last name.
Yeah, definitely not that last name.
Do you want to get your pussy ate? Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, this is my second favorite movie of the year. This is my number one favorite for just kind of looking at stuff released in 2025. What a goddamn delight this film is for me. This is something I've seen twice in theaters. I didn't get a chance to see the IMAX release. I'm hoping they're talking it's probably going to get some number of Oscar nominations. So I'm hoping a bit later in the year, if they put it back in theaters, I'm going to kind of catch it one more time there. Music is better than church. I mean, that's all it kind of really took to get me right there. I remember coming in the first time, not knowing too much of what to expect, kind of being interested, kind of being hopeful. And then for me, one of the reasons I was sort of excited to talk about this movie is just the four of us, in addition to kind of being movie fans, we're all pretty big music fans. We all play guitar to kind of just one degree of skill or another. The scene of Preacher Boy and I believe it's Stack just kind of dry, just kind of going out in the drive. Preacher Boy pulls out the guitar, and Stack goes, "Oh, let's see how you sound on that thing." And he starts busting out this really kind of chill, catchy blues riff, and his cousin is nodding, and then he starts singing. And the acting Michael B. Jordan, the dawning realization, the smile that starts spreading across his face, and he eventually gets to a point where he's just screaming, just out of joy to see what just how good a musician, what to see what his little kind of cousin has picked up. That moment in the movie, I'm like, okay, this is some good shit right there. And then for me, it just kind of built and built and built. Saw this movie twice. Second time with my girlfriend. Maybe, you know, like kind of like, you know, just one of the world's biggest horror fans. The loudest I've ever heard her scream in a movie theater is when she's trying to talk to Remick and like his little kind of, you know, Peter, Paul, and Mary trio outside. She turns and walks away, and then his eyes go red and he just kind of pops up from the sky and then cuts away. I've never seen her freak out more in a movie. The hardest I've ever heard her laugh is in the post-credit scene where Michael and Haley show up as Radio Raheem and like one of the Fly Girls. She was just dying in tears, like laughing from that. They hit
the 90s style with those clothes.
Oh,
they
nailed
it. They nailed it.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this though. What's your feelings on blues, like blues music? Because my dad is really into blues. His brother's really into blues. I feel like it's a thing, like people their ages, especially, you know, my dad's in his 70s at this point, and it's all about blues for him. It's all about the story. It's like, even though it all sounds the same, it's all about the lyrics and the story that people have to tell. And he always tries to like bring me to shows or make me listen to stuff, and I just can't relate to it at all. But it felt like the amount that they played in this film and the way they performed it, I was like, that's fine. Like I can handle this much blues. Right. And it felt like in a way that was a little more maybe like digestible, I guess.
There's a generational thing. I think I kind of see blues the way that I sort of see our parents kind of, you know, just how big folk music was back in the day for them. Mm-hmm. This is not things that I'm directly interested in, but I can also understand how vitally important kind of blues music, particularly Robert Johnson, like of all people, like, you know, you know, the Sold My Soul to the Devil musician that Preacher Boy's character is actually based on. There is a direct through line from his music specifically to the Rolling Stones, from his music specifically, certainly to Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin has multiple Robert Johnson covers, like on like a number of their albums. Certainly, you know, the first ever, what's largely argued as the first ever heavy metal album was Black Sabbath's Paranoid. I believe that was about 1975. They had been a blues band prior from that, and they were just like, why don't we just turn up the distortion and kind of just sing more explicitly about the devil? But that, you know, that was their big innovation.
Let me ask you this: did you pick up on who was the actor, not actor, but the musician playing future Preacher Boy?
Buddy Guy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. As soon as I saw him, I was like, son of a bitch.
Oh, I mean, I didn't clock specifically who it was. Like, I mean, like his post-credit scene literally says, and Buddy Guy, like at the end. Like,
oh, does it really? Yeah. I didn't notice that. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've actually, so my dad is, again, my dad's a big blues fan. I, through years and years of him listening to it, have also become I wouldn't say I'm a big blues fan. I was a bigger blues fan for a long time, back through college and into like, you know, the early to mid 2000s. Less so now, but still have a huge appreciation for it. I've actually been to Buddy Guy's club in Chicago. Oh, no kidding. 2 nights in a row.
Oh, wow.
Which was pretty, that was the last time I was in Chicago. It was years ago, but it's really cool. I mean, I walked in.
Rutgers now or something heartbreaking.
Probably. No, I mean, I walked in and he was literally sitting out at the last bar stool talking to the bartender, just like as if he was just the regular owner of a regular bar. Yeah, it was pretty cool to see him in the movie. I did not know that he was in the movie. And in fact, here's a funny story with my dad. I mentioned that we were watching it and he had already seen it because he's actually also a very big fan of both vampire and zombie movies, of all things, loves them. And he said to me, what's that?
He gave birth to you. That's,
yeah, I know. It's weird.
He's
weird.
like, I'm keeping
it skips generations.
Yeah. So
my father found Superman too violent. So
yeah, no, my dad is definitely not for the faint of heart when it comes to that sort of thing. But he said to me, he goes, "Oh yeah, that guy in the movie, he's Buddy Guy." And I was like, "What do you like? what are you talking about? He's buddy guy. I said, I don't want any spoilers. So like, just, I don't even want to know what you're talking about. I had no idea. And then when he popped up on the screen, the first thing that pops into my head was, God damn it. Like it was a full on spoiler. Like it wasn't just a little spoiler. Like that was a big spoiler for the end of the movie. Damn it, Dad.
He should have said it like, he's your buddy guy.
Yeah.
Hey.
And then he was like, I'm not your guy, friend.
Not your guy, friend.
Okay. Lost both Andy and Naveen. That's fine. Moving on. I was actually talking to my barber.
Wait, what happened?
Like a few days ago. And like interesting point. He actually made like Robert Johnson only died in 2016, and he said if they had got this movie just a few years earlier, there's no possible way they would have been. They would have used Buddy Guy, because I think like Robert Johnson literally had those giant scratches across his face that was sort of like apocryphal about how he ended up with.
Yeah,
I was. Can't be right.
Were you kind of when I was watching that scene and I saw
in 1938?
Robert Johnson?
Yeah, 1911 to 1938.
Okay, but check his vampire death. Like that.
Are you thinking about E.B. King?
No, he came back as a vampire. He probably got staked then in 2006.
Oh, okay, got it.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Robert Johnson died like around the time this movie was set.
Public education in Nevada. It's not like Oklahoma bad, but still pretty Nevada. I don't know what to tell you.
You didn't go to school there.
Yeah, but I every day I deal with some part of the fallout.
Got it. Okay.
He's learning for us.
It's true. Yeah. I was waiting the whole time when Buddy Guy showed up. I was like, oh fuck, let's see if he can remember his lines. Mm-hmm. And then when he spoke, I was like, he's sticking the landing. Let's see what happens. Same thing. My dad actually has seen him. He's gone to his club, and he's gone and talked to him before, and he's just like, he's not very personable.
No, he's not. But he's just a normal. I mean, he's kind of what you would expect.
Drinks.
Yeah.
Just does his own thing. Doesn't want to be bothered by anybody. When you're Buddy Guy, and everybody recognizes you.
It was something like, up to a certain point, that was the best day of my life.
Before the sunset.
So let's kind of throw like generally. Andy came up with like a couple like talking points here. Let's get to I think one of the biggest and most interesting things about the movie is Coogler. What kind of metaphor do you think vampirism is being used for in the movie? Do you think it's just, this is a guy who's directed comic book movies and he just liked the idea of like Irish vampire hive mind and just kind of like showing up like fucking with these guys? Does it mean something like that? Is there like deeper interpretations? Are there multiple ways to actually interpret that? What do you what do you guys, in like the context of this whole thing, do you think the vampires were just kind of just exactly what it was in the movie, or do you think there's just kind of like a deeper read for what they represented?
I think it's multiple metaphors, but the kind of the summation of what I wrote down. Coogler uses vampirism as a metaphor for the seductive but soul-crushing forces of trauma, exploitation, and cultural erasure, and contrasts it with the power of community and legacy.
Are you going to put any of that in your letterbox reviews? Because that's pretty
I'm
good.
not. Right. I already wrote it. I already hand wrote it one time. I'm not going to type it out on my little phone. But I mean, so basically, I mean, it's like, you've got sacrifice, you've got the theft of culture, you've got community, or hive mind versus shared culture and family. Like there's a lot of stuff kind of buried inside of this kind of period piece turned vampire flick.
Your dad got all the love for horror movies, and this is what you got.
Eric's still stuck on this.
Now let's assess this vampirism thing. I like where you went with this, and when I saw that you had put the question in the chat, I didn't even think about it that much, to be honest, because I really enjoyed the film on like the surface level. It's just a straight out great horror flick. But when I thought about it more, the thing that came to mind is the very ending when Preacher Boy keeps getting he's sitting there and he's saying that line that his dad said in church or whatever. It's a very common line that's from the Bible. And, you know, then all of a sudden Remick started like finishing it for him, like as, you know, he's about to be, you know, Sammy's about to be killed. And then he just starts shoving him underwater like he's baptizing him or something like that. Wow. And then I started thinking about Remick talking about like Christianity and stuff like that. And, you know, what happened to like the Irish. And so I'm like, okay, there's something more here.
Interesting, like a little side note on that. Remick basically saying like, yeah, the Christians came to Ireland and we had our own culture and they pretty much stole our identity and co-opted us like this, you know, the same way the Christians did when they came to Africa and started taking slaves. I was just reading the other day that puts Remick as being born in somewhere between the 5th and 7th century, if he's still talking about like just
dear Lord, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's the way I interpret it as I'm like, okay, he's a vampire. He was converted. Now he's converting people as like almost like a Christian missionary. And as a result, people are just kind of giving up all of themselves to join this like family that's filled with like peace and love or whatever. So it was,
but at some kind of cost of culture, of history, of individuality. I mean, it's you know, they sort of come in and they're like, you know, we are going to absorb you into like our particular thing, but you know, at the same time, it's I think a more poorly written movie or a more kind of lazily conceived movie would have just been like, oh, the vampires are white people. The vampires are just trying to like kind of co-opt Black culture. You know, they covet the blues. They covet this artistry that has arisen out of just kind of just sadness and kind of trauma and pain. But what one of the things I think that really makes this these depictions interesting is the vampires aren't really on the side of like the shitty white people in the movie either. Like they come in and they're like, hey, these people that we just absorbed, their relatives are Klansmen. They're coming to kill you tomorrow. We're not about that. We're not about the violence. We're about sort of peace, about love. The other thing that I think just is kind of remarkable is it doesn't also depict the vampires as having dull or sort of kind of like a more subpar culture that they have to you know that they have to kind of go to like the Black community to sort of like, you know, just level up like the artistry. They're like they're high mind. Well, the guys are, well, you know, the people are inside the juke watching like a blues show. The vampires are outside having like a pretty sweet river dance party.
Yeah,
it's just kind of way.
I saw that and I was just like, you don't. Nobody needs to go out there. It just looks awful.
I wrote down Michael Flatley.
I was just like, I'm like, oh, what kind of music do the white people have to offer? And then I'm like, Irish ballads. Nah, I'm good.
I don't know that river dance.
YouTube covers or something.
And they're all covered in blood. That looked fun as shit to me. I don't know about you.
Does it really? Yeah.
I
mean, they got Haley too. She kind of joined them, so I mean, why not?
Well, I mean, yeah,
why not? She's got a kind of a drooling problem, but if you're into that,
right? Naveen, anything to add to like the vampire side?
Not really. I kind of felt the same way, that it was a bunch of different metaphors, I guess, and I guess the bigger thing being the movie called Sinners, just all these people, different people who are sinning, I guess, in one way or another. Is what is it? You know, you want to go to the dark side and live forever and have that being the vampire, you know, that's sin there, or music that's not part of the church or religion, that's, you know, sinning, or drinking or sex, or, you know, just the lives of, you know, what you choose to do.
That's true. Think about Preacher Boy. His dad's a pastor. And then you think that he's just going to be part of the church his entire life. But he's like, no, I want to be a musician and go off on my own and do my own thing.
Right.
And right there, he's stepping away from the church. That's why it's weird, because I'm like, I like how you don't think about Preacher Boy being like the main, protagonist of this film,
character,
but
yeah.
he kind of is.
He's sort of an innocent. He's sort of like an observer, but he starts making more and more active decisions like over the course.
He does. He grows as a character, and then he reaches the point where he's being, baptized by Remick.
Right.
And it's like, is this going to be his fate, or is he going to overcome this?
Mhm.
And then if he does he overcome the decisions that his father's forcing on him?
Right. It's also just like the progression that you kind of see of his character through the movie. It just kind of starts out, he's kind of under his father's thumb, like his cousins show up, they start inspiring him, but that eventually sort of gets him to kind of go on his own little journey. He performs music to like a crowd for the first time. He's physically with a woman for the first time. He actually ends up sort of getting into like a fight with the vampires and manages to survive by the end of the film. And kind of what that kind of builds is he's a completely different person when he goes back to his like father's church like the next morning. And maybe kind of one of the big sort of pivots at the end of the movie is the dad being like, put down the guitar.
Yeah.
To join the church, put down the blues guitar, and then there's that musical sting, that chord hits, and it cuts to him traumatized looking, but still driving away from the church and still kind of just clutching the guitar in his hand.
It was just like a shred of a guitar left.
Yeah.
And that was like the shred of like what was left of him. That, by the way, adding on to the whole sinners thing, Preacher Boy does sleep with a married woman. So
yeah.
What a fucking pig.
But you saw how she was singing after that little.
She's like, let me clean up. He's like, no, I like you soiled. And she's like,
But even Smoke at one point before the vampires came was like, hey, Sammy, no, music is not the way to go.
Right.
Yeah, basically you get one night.
I've known a bunch of musicians. None of them are happy.
Right.
True.
He's
Unless
asking
you're
about
Delta
Chicago.
Slim, then life's a journey.
Yeah. Just got to stay away from his fourth ex-wife.
I gotta say, I love the part of the film when Delta Slim's talking about he slept with a vampire before. It's so funny, and it's great because he has to make a point of, he's like, guys, and then they all like stop to listen. He's just like, look, I slept with like a light-skinned vampire once, and vampire gal bit me all over everywhere except for my neck. And I was like, oh, you dirty bastard. Drink some more of that Irish beer.
Right.
Also, the part where they all eat speaking of him, where they all eat the garlic. And he's the last one, and he like, goes into this little like fit, and then he stands up, he's like, no, I'm good, basically.
yeah, something to do. I think I drank too much of those Irish beers.
Yeah. The garlic is not sitting well with the fermentation.
Nobody reacts like that to a clove of garlic. Come on, dude.
There may be something like how many takes of that scene do you think they had to film where they're just kind of popping down pickled garlic every time? It might have been like a Vigo's Toast kind of thing where like Lindo actually just
right. That was regular garlic. That was raw garlic.
That's regular garlic. It wasn't pickled.
That's why the Asian chick was like, she's like, you guys don't have any pickled garlic? Like, just eat it.
You want to talk about a badass? She was a badass. The way she went out.
Her.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
But she caused the problem.
Somehow like the least sexual and most sexual woman in the entire, just like the one scene, like the tracking shot of her kind of walking through the club at one point, and she's you can tell she's kind of buttoned up and sort of stayed, but she's swaying her hips and like her shoulder blades are kind of going back and forth. She was astounding. And
then when she listens at the door, when was it Sammy that was in there at that point? Yeah, it was Sammy.
Preacher Boy and Ruthie.
Yeah. And she kind of sticks her ear to the door, and she's kind of like, "Good job, kid."
Yeah.
What a shitty parenting, though. Really, she like her daughter. They threaten her daughter, like, we're gonna kill, go and eat your daughter. And she's like, oh, fuck this. And then what'd she do? She just pretty much just kamikazes right into her husband, gets set ablaze. She does not give a shit about her daughter at that point. She's like,
everyone had to drive to like the juke, and the sun is coming up in a couple hours. Like her kid would have been fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, who's gonna
thinking straight. You know, it's kind of going back actually to Fantastic Four, that whole giving up the kid things. Like, all right, you just threatened my kid.
Yeah.
I got to do something. I got to get out of here.
Look at this rationally.
Yeah.
Woman.
I found this wonderful witch with this black cat named Ebony that will take care of her. And I'm leaving it at that.
It was Agatha all along, as it turns out.
You got that one. I'll give you that one.
Let's get to like so you know, Preacher Boy's performance, and this listening to like a lot of podcasts about the movie, reading a lot of criticism about it. How did you guys feel about what they refer to as the pierce the veil scene? Like, you know, when Preacher Boy is kind of performing, and then all these kind of spirits from the future and the past, primarily from sort of from kind of Black culture going both directions through time, but like a little bit of kind of like medieval kind of Chinese culture, kind of like operates at like the same time too. What'd you guys think of that scene?
It was interesting. That was definitely another scene I was not expecting to happen, but it was kind of neat how they, again, going back to my thought, it was going to be one of these musical things where they're showing you, you know, he's going to sell his soul, or is he going to keep the tradition alive and evolve the music scene somehow, the blues, that kind of thing going on with that spirits of the past, present, future kind of thing. So it kind of threw me for a whirlwind as well, the way they were trying to piece that all together. But it was neat at the same time how they put it together and mashed up those things, and it still sounded pretty neat and put it together. And then, of course, the end credits scene there kind of put it together as well. You know, tied it together, saying, you know, like kept going, and it was the driving force of the storytelling, the anything that was going on.
To tie it back to what we were just talking about, but you know, when you look at the lineage, the legacy of music, none of us are like necessarily like the biggest blues fans, but the blues has a direct connection, a direct through line to like the music that we have all loved basically the most, like our entire lives.
Sure.
Definitely.
I think for that scene, I thought that was going to be the catalyst that set off the whole thing, where the spirits are attracted by the music, and then they come in, shit goes down, because they kept saying at the beginning, they said it twice. They're like, you know, music can attract not. They just
literally like set up the mythology to.
Yeah, exactly. It could not just like good spirits or like family or like, you know, things from the future and the past, but like evil spirits are attracted by music as well and can also like pierce into this realm. And so I'm like, this is going to set it off. That's going to be where everything goes to shit. And then it just shows like, you know, some people like whatever, they're beatboxing or something like that, and some dudes and like
some of like maybe the bit of the controversy is like literally the first two like spirits that show up are like a guy dressed like Bootsy Collins, kind of playing thrash guitar, and then a woman twerking.
Yep.
I mean, like some people might. I've heard some argument maybe like some of those apparitions might have been like a bit better chosen than the actual were. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I was also thinking too, it might be like Smoking Stack's like mom shows up or something like that, or Haley's mom shows up, and then you're like, oh, look at that.
There's a whole bunch of high-fiving. Like,
yeah, she was the twerker. God damn it.
I think if you were to just snip that scene completely out of the movie and just watch it on its own, I think it was a really cool scene. I think it was oddly placed in the movie. I don't think it was necessary, and I don't think it maybe it wasn't as deep as maybe Coogler thought it was. I don't mean to say that in a disparaging way.
Been Preacher Boy performing the song, and it also would have been great. Fair enough. I don't think that other stuff was really necessary.
Story or anything. Yeah.
Or maybe he went and started in that direction and he half-assed it, where it's like he put in some people from the future and the past, but it just wasn't enough. Like he didn't really embrace the scene. He's like, I'm going to kind of do this thing, but I mean, it just could have been like, you know, the whole club was just full of like, you know, hundreds of people or something. I don't know. We can't fit that many people in there, but just like a full band or all these people, or I don't know. Like, He was just like, I'll sprinkle people here and there, and they'll just be from All About, and we'll do that for like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
I like the weirdness of it. I like the reach of it. I like the fact that he probably got notes from the studio. Don't have like this random lady kind of twerking like in the middle, like the 1930s kind of Delta Blues show. But I get where it's a big, weird, crazy swing. I do understand that it is the kind of thing that sort of people don't even hate it, but it kind of makes you cross-eyed like a little bit, because it literally kind of what you're saying. The vampires show up because of a song, and that drives the conflict for us in the movie. But that entire thing is just kind of there for a scene and then poof. Similarly, the Choctaw Indian vampire hunters who show up for one scene in the movie, which could have been really that could have been like the rest of the film. That also would have been dope.
They were great. I can't believe they only just sprinkled them in there and then literally never touched on them again.
Right.
But they didn't try very hard either. It's like,
no, they didn't. They were like, oh, they're not there. Okay.
Good luck with that.
Oh, the sun's going down. We got to go. All right.
They probably knew, like, they took one look at the couple, like, 50-50. These are clan motherfuckers. Let's about
it. They went the gym route. They just kind of laughed about it and then left.
Where's Big Mike?
Yeah, it was like, I got to get on it. No, I'm not touching that.
So last question for the movie: what does the pierce the veil scene look like for the four of us? What ghosts and spirits actually show up?
All right, so I gotta stop you there before we go on. Just more clarification. I know we had some clarification in the chat.
Sure.
But I guess for clarification, we would have to be thinking of ourselves and our 16, 17, 18-year-old selves to actually get a better picture. Because we can't really do the future, right? But so that was kind of the coming of age for Sammy.
Right.
You interpreted pierce the veil as losing your virginity. Is that what this is about?
I was a loser. I didn't lose my virginity then, man.
It was more like move these drapes.
And son, that's how I pierced the veil. He's like, that sounds awful. That's like taking a chop.
I don't have very much for this answer personally. I just have a who shows up, System of a Down, and maybe the two guys from Cholet.
That sounds like a fucking party, bro. I'm down.
And the one woman twerking. She seemed like just I like the energy.
The twerker.
No. It can be whatever the fuck, maybe.
All right. Well, I was just curious because that's kind of like Sammy was probably around that age, 16, 17, 18. So you got the future, you got the past, you got, the future spirits coming. Mm-hmm. So I was just thinking, do we think of it as that way? Because we can't really predict what future spirits would show up.
They're alive or dead. Like, that's the thing I don't understand. It's both.
Well, if it's future music that came out.
So it has to be things that are existing that are pierced. I thought it was about like spirits, like things that
I'm just going to say, not having met any of them personally, but I would say at least 3 of the 4 guys had a system can probably astrally project. I would just assume. Or are just vampires.
I mean, if you're going with System of a Down,
you met them, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I was. We were at the Webster.
Tell that story real quick.
Through the veil.
What's that?
Through the veil.
Through the veil. That's where
you pierce the veil.
Well, just through the door of Webster.
Uh-huh.
But the Webster is a small little club. I think it's still around, but it was back in Hartford. We went. It was after we had just seen him actually in the summertime. It was '98. We saw him in the summertime at Ozfest, and we're just like, wow, we love. We just fell in love with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they came around to the Webster in Hartford in like October of that year, and they were actually touring with Incubus as well. So it was an Incubus and
nice
System of a Down show.
So that was like science era, right? That's kind of
yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
When Incubus was still good.
Yeah.
For that album.
I can
For
agree
that
with
one
that.
album.
Yeah. So yeah, and then we teenagers and stuff, we stay around, we hang around for a while, and we ended up bumping into them. They had this little just trailer RV thing that they were touring with, and out comes Darren. We're talking with them. Serge came out, talked with them, with our buddy that we've known for a while. it was actually around his birthday. It's like, "Ew, it's his birthday and stuff." They're like, "Oh, happy birthday!" They're like, "Do you guys know any place to eat?" It's like, we usually go to Gold Rock, the Gold Rock Diner, which is now closed. It's an IHOP. After our concerts, we go there because it's a 24-hour diner. Pretty good food. Not the best. Transvestites, whatever.
Nice.
Yeah.
You
So
don't
we-
like?
So we end up talking with them.
Good time.
Yeah. Of course. So we were just talking, chatting about all sorts of different things. We even talked a little bit with the guys from Incubus. At least, what's his name, Mike Einziger or something, the guitarist.
Yep.
Yeah.
With him as well, and I think Brandon was there for a little bit. But again, we end up going to Gold Rock, get some grub, and in comes System of a Down. They see us, they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" Serge walks back to the entrance because there's a big gumball machine. Puts a quarter in, gets a gumball. He's like, "Happy birthday!" And he gives a gumball to our buddy.
That's
whose
awesome.
birthday was. Yeah, it was just awesome.
Where
That's
were you,
cool.
John?
He was hanging out in Mass.
Where the fuck were you? What year was this?
98. You were up in Mass. You were up at WPI.
Ah,
Can you clarify who the buddy is without saying too much?
First name, I guess, was Dave. Ellie.
Okay. So like a potentially a Gold Rock patron now, if like the place was still around.
Yeah.
Yep.
From what we're clarifying here,
Yep.
Yes.
I'm surprised he was with you for like that. I feel I feel like I've heard like a bunch of I feel like I've heard this story before. Him specifically sort of being there, but yeah, this like a little bit of a surprise to me. Interesting.
He also asked for the guitar. Well, I think it was the guitar player's shirt, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember that part, but
It
maybe.
was a sparkly shirt, and he said he wanted it, and he was like, "I can't give that to you."
All right.
Something like that.
That tracks 1,000%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And Darren is surprisingly, it's kind of neat for me, just because I'm always the short one. He's shorter than I am,
Oh, okay.
oh, yeah.
so I'm actually
How about
taller than
that?
somebody.
So this is not even like so this was an actual sort of just kind of pierce the veil for you, like experience, like basically it almost feels like there's no imaginary thing that we can kind of come up with that's going to be better than this.
I mean, what if we pierced the veil with Guar?
Oh,
That would. I mean, I think that could top System of a Down.
in costume.
Water
or
feels
out
like
of
the kind of
costume?
band you could hang out with without a lot of trouble.
Bring the maggot with.
Uh-huh.
Because you have to have the maggot.
We'd have to
Like-
track down Ethan Embry first and
Yeah.
costume. Mark.
Mark! Holy shit, you're not dead, Mark.
Mark.
Would my version of Pierce the Veil just be Guar? Like
I think it might be.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of what the experience of seeing them live actually was like. Like there was just too much weird shit going on.
John, hey, John, you're still alive, John? Remember Pierce the Veil, 98? Maybe.
Right? That's where this gumball came from.
Yeah, I know. Still got the gumball, motherfucker.
Does anyone have anything else to add to that question, or do you want to wind it down?
I think we pierced enough veil tonight.
Yeah, I think let's go to the next part.
Okay. So any Vigo's toes, any trivia? I'll just kind of shout the thing out like Rick and real quick. Expensive movie to make, ton of special effects. The most challenging thing that they had to do for that shoot was apparently there's a scene right at the beginning where Smoke and Stack are passing like a cigarette back and forth. They were just like that was basically impossible. We literally had to invent some digital imaging shit to kind of actually make that scene work.
They didn't. I remember watching that scene. I don't know. I was hyper focused because I'm like, how are they going to pull this off?
Right.
And then that's the thing. Like when you first see the twins together next to each other, I'm like, okay, one's in the foreground, one's in the background. They're doing that kind of like split screen kind of thing. And then I'm like, okay, are they just going to cut away and then show somebody's hand passing a cigarette to somebody's hand? And they didn't. They're like, we're just going to have this a straight on, you know, no cut shot.
Unbroken shot. Yeah.
I don't really understand why it would be that difficult. Couldn't they just sort of like have another actor standing there and then composite his face on top of it? Like that seems like
good. Maybe with the budget and it looks kind of. Have you watched? Oh shit! What was it? Was it Mandalorian or was it Book of Boba Fett? When they had Luke, they had the other actor playing like Luke Skywalker. Digitally.
It doesn't look good when they try.
No, it doesn't.
That was Mandalorian.
Yeah,
Mandalorian. Okay, you feel like you know it's not going to be him, but at the same time, it's just like when you see it, you're like, that's. Yeah. I see what you did there, but. No Disney Plus money is going to save that.
And in that actual shot, it looks like okay, that's Michael A, that's Michael B. They're not taking shortcuts. Something really complicated. Any other trivia you guys want to shout out before we get to the last segment?
I don't have any personally.
I could say it. I could make a bullshit all night, but I would make some lame joke about like. Did you know that both the actor playing Smoke and Stack were in each of the Space Jam movies? One Michael Jordan in the original, and then Michael B. Jordan in the sequel.
I've heard like that's the one funny joke in the new Space Jam is the aliens go to kidnap Michael Jordan, they end up with Michael B. Jordan.
So it's you don't expect it. It's great.
Actually, yeah, that is a pretty funny joke from that
that's
movie.
That's a funny joke.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
The way I said it was not funny, but. The way that they did it in the movie.
It's not the Zootopia elephant in the room gag, but you know, just
yeah.
All right, so let's wind it down there. A very, very quick sorbet for the night. This is a new segment we're going to call "What'll It Cost Me?" We've talked a bit about kind of like just like the four of us being just fans of music, fans of live performance. And all of us, just playing like a little bit of guitar here and there. I have, I've loved guitar music since I was a teenager. I still, to this day, probably 2 or 3 times a week, randomly, when I'm just kind of futzing around on YouTube, will pull up. So again, just performance or instruction or tablature video. I was literally just kind of watching last night, like this really clean, perfectly executed cover of like that very famous Mason Williams acoustic guitar song Classical Gas. It's just guitar is something I really love. I've always been interested in. I am also fucking cheap when it comes to paying for instruments. I bought a guitar once for $100 back in 1996. It's just young people listening to this don't laugh at that too much. That was equivalent to like $15,000 back then. Like, it wasn't peanuts. But my guitar got like a little bit damaged in college when it fell over, and then a piece of kind of dorm furniture kind of fell on top of it, kind of cracked the headstock a little bit. I never got around to repairing it. It's gotten worse and worse over the time. It is still the only guitar that I own. It's still the only piece of it's the only musical instrument that I just own, period, in my adult life. Our friend Andy has so generously volunteered to sort of bring his professional skills to evaluate the condition of my guitar currently, and just inform me live on mic and our co-host and the rest of us what'll it cost me.
Yeah. So
that's not a good tone to start on.
No, actually, it's not. Well, I won't. I'm gonna wait. So first of all, the pictures, and I presume maybe we'll add these pictures to the slideshow of the
and these photos have been shown, like shared with like the rest of the hosts as well. I asked them to refrain from any comment also, like until we get to this segment.
Yeah. And I will try very hard to not make this super boring for everybody. But my first question, so what fell on top? You said it was a piece of dorm furniture. What happened to that poor guitar?
The short version was my roommate grabbed an extra piece of kind of like a kind of dorm room, like a dorm headboard for like one of the beds that we have. We had all this modular furniture in the dorm, and he brought it up to the room. It would take like kind of take like 5 seconds to install, and he just never got around to like installing the headboard on the thing. So technically, he was the one who brought up like the piece of furniture, but I was the one who. I was kind of like, I was leaving like the room in the morning. I was like in a little bit of rush. I accidentally bumped into the guitar and the headboard. The guitar fell first, hit the floor, and then the headboard fell on top of it.
Okay.
So that's where it started.
The reason I asked that is because there is a part on the back of the guitar. It's sort of like a little bump between where the neck meets the headstock. It's called a volute. That's the name of that piece. And generally that's there so that you don't break the headstock off of a guitar. It gives extra strength to the neck. So when I saw that it was broken, I thought to myself, the only thing I could come up with is it was on the floor and somebody stepped on it or something like that. Anyway,
that's somewhat close. Like you know, the headboard is pretty like the torque was the guy. I mean, it went from a standing to a laying on the floor.
Yeah,
there was some real acceleration there.
Yeah, and now wait, tell me again how much you paid for the guitar when you
$100 in 1996.
Okay, and is it an Alvarez?
It's an Alvarez acoustic guitar. Yes.
Okay, so that guitar, if you were to in non-broken and functioning condition, if you walked into my store with that guitar and said, "Hey, I'm looking to sell this or trade this in or whatever," what would you give me for it? The answer would be, we're probably not interested. That's not to say that it's not a nice guitar, but at the end of the day, for what we would pay you for it and then have to put into kind of like getting it ready to go, we wouldn't make any money on the thing. So we would just say, keep it. It's a nice guitar.
So is this if I brought the guitar in a pristine condition or broken?
Well, yeah, pristine for a guitar that's 25 or 30 years old or whatever it is.
So you would not pay money for it if it was fine.
Correct.
Wait. Let me ask a question. What if there was like a story behind how it got damaged? For example, John was watching a video. He learned how to play the blues. He pierced the veil, and then guar burst through, and the world maggot just kind of like fell on the guitar and cracked the head.
So actually, when you put it that way, I still wouldn't pay for it.
Right. It's like that scene out of The Simpsons where Homer's trying to hawk Lisa's saxophone, and he's got like the mob guy with the little kind of like microscope thing. He's looking at it, it's like, oh, the sax, it's not worth too much in actual dollars, but the sentimental value is through the roof.
Right.
Saxophone.
Right.
So I guess that would be what I would call part of I'm going to call that the bad news.
Now here's the badder news.
John, your trash is everybody's trash.
It depends on how you look at it. So the good news is that it's absolutely repairable.
Okay.
You paid $100 for it, 30 years ago.
Right.
And all it would cost to fix it is about $109 plus tax.
$109 plus tax.
Yeah, something like that. And the reason I say right around that is, okay, so to repair that neck, assuming that it was a relatively clean break, all of the pieces are still attached in some form or fashion, and it could just be sort of glued and then put back together and clamped properly, that's about $100.
Okay.
Give or take, and that includes the setup that would need to be done thereafter, which means basically to make sure that it's playable, make sure that the action is good, make sure that it's a usable guitar. Be about $100 for that. And then strings could go anywhere from $6 to $18, but I'm figuring a $9 set of strings is what you would need.
Also, I'm pretty cheap, and like those strings, believe it or not, are actually new. It's like I bought new strings about 10 years ago, put them on the broken guitar, realized that, okay, I can tune this thing. The tuning lasts for about a minute and a half before everything just kind of goes.
Wait, define new.
Just said they're 10 years old.
Yeah, about 10 years old, but only played like a couple times.
No.
New strings. No. Okay.
Yeah, so strings oxidize. So even if you're not playing a guitar, probably after 6 months, your guitar needs new strings, even if you've never touched them.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you need new strings for sure. So yeah, at the end of the day, and this is you're getting the you're my buddy discount. It's about $109.
$109. All in.
I mean, John, I could offer you a better discount. I could show up at my place with your guitar and a bottle of wood glue and some Irish beer, and we'll make an evening of it.
I thought you were going to when you said I'm going to offer you a better deal, I thought you were going to finally sell me your old roommate's bass guitar.
I no longer have that bass guitar.
No longer have that bass guitar.
Unfortunately, I still have the electric
Clarify,
guitar.
his old roommate
man.
is also someone Naveen and I know quite well.
Hold on.
Look, there's actually a picture on that poster now.
I gifted this. I gifted this to my father because he was really interested in this custom guitar. It's a Samick.
You gifted this to your father, who already has close to 400 guitars.
He does. This was built. This was custom designed for your old friend. It's a Samick. In college, he sold it to me for about $15. I gifted it to my dad. He said, "It's a nice guitar. I have too many. I'm going to gift it to your sons, who don't give a shit about guitar." This is it. This is it. And this is the Lemonhead sticker I put on it in college.
Looks pretty.
Right.
I don't play electric guitar.
Andy just brightened up so much. And he's like, now, you bring that into the shop. Now we're talking turkey.
Yeah, I might buy that.
Sentimental value behind that. I get that whole backstory. I have no fucking clue where John's old friend is. He's gone. So that's the mystery of this all. Right. What happened to the original owner?
Interesting.
So, $109 all total.
Plus tax.
Yeah. Plus tax, plus actually physically getting it out to New England. That's a separate logistical thing I can kind of figure out.
Yep. Or alternatively, you could just buy another guitar.
Alternatively, I could just buy another.
For how much?
Probably $200.
And he's like, I just got this new guitar that came in with like a Lemonhead sticker.
Yeah.
$200 in 1998. So the equivalent of like $100,000.
$109 in like 2025, like a nickel back in the day would not even get you like part way to like a 6-inch Blimpies chicken fajita sub. All right,
that's probably about right.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me that the repair prices are extremely reasonable for a guitar that I love. It has a ton of sentimental value for me, but has always just completely cut the shit up my fingers, and it was just painful to learn on. So yeah, I appreciate like the assessment, and next time in New England, this is something we may have to kind of talk about in more detail.
Okay, no problem.
And I don't even have to sell my soul. That's pretty cool.
How does the guitar sound?
We didn't say that. That's the tax.
Is it worth saving? Is it worth saving?
You would have to have somebody who actually knows how to play well to like how good does it sound is not a question that can be answered by me after playing the guitar myself.
I think the answer to that question is it depends on how meaningful is it to Johnny.
Right.
To John, it sounds great. To most people, it sounds pretty shitty.
Right.
Alvarez makes a good guitar. Don't get me wrong.
They do. Maybe it aged with grace.
It's a fine instrument. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
Apart
you
from
say that until you try it. Just I want to see you try it, and you're just gonna be like, just buy from me. I will sell you a guitar.
I think it'll buff out, Johnny.
Okay.
Just buff it out.
My guitar, it's kind of the Delroy Lindo of guitars. It's just like a little tough, little beaten up. A lot of fun. Give him Irish beer on a Saturday night.
Yep.
Just tell the guitar to walk it off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Walk it off.
Okay. Episode 66 of Rebels Without a Pod. That was our show. Next week, I believe we are doing Eric's pick for the top of the queue cycle. That is Jojo Rabbit by Taika Waititi.
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything that you want to say? Like it's a Taika appears as a kind of like phantasmagorical Hitler character. If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
He's not the kid.
I feel like we have a different theme this cycle. It's like, yeah, we got like
Mhm.
KKK, we got Hitler,
Right.
we've got more like white supremacy.
We have the for my pick, we have the episode art that I'm not sure we even should talk about on mic, at least in its first
Yeah.
draft.
No,
I mean,
I don't even know where that came from. I feel like that yeah, that deserves like some explanation.
he did.
Andy,
I
that's all I
didn't
got.
join
picture
that
where he got it.
conversation. I didn't join the conversation. I saw the chat going on. I
Oh.
saw the proposal,
Mm.
and I was just like, it just reminds me of when I was
Your
a kid.
silence was deafening. Like the fact
Dude.
that we heard
It
nothing.
brought me back to watching Charlotte's Web as a kid on Nickelodeon on like a Saturday afternoon, and I'm just like,
Some pig.
that'll do, pig. That'll do.
Andy's not even paying attention. He's just looking up how much he could sell like
I know.
the
Custom
lemon
Samick
guitar for.
with a lemon head guitar sticker on it.
Oh, I thought you were like, John, that dumb bastard. His Alvarez is worth like
Mhm.
$2,000.
Hey, Stradivarius, ever heard of it?
I'll buy it off you real cheap, Johnny, real cheap.
Okay. Well, that accent's unfortunate. Episode 66, gentlemen. This was a lot of fun. I know like this is a personal favorite of mine. I'm glad everyone else had to finally chance to kind of circle around. And sounds like everyone had a good time with the movie, and I certainly had a good time talking about it with you guys with it. So
You know what?
Yes, indeed.
After seeing this movie, I feel like we're all sinners.
yeah.
Probably.
After recording this episode, I think we can say that podcast got 8. Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
I
mean, you could say that. That is a thing you could say.
And all the
We
crumbs.
want to say anything further about Haley Steinfeld before we wind down the show.
I'm glad
I
they
don't
didn't
see
kill
it.
her off.
Hmm.
I'm glad they what? I'm sorry, what?
I don't see it.
I'm sorry, is your wife a subscriber?
No, I'm
They
just
keep
telling you, I
going
don't
with
see
that.
it.
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you, I don't see it with her.
All right.
She's lovely. Don't get me wrong, but like not. She doesn't. She's not an Anna de Armas or something.
No,
like
I mean,
No, I guess.
she's certainly not for Andy a 96 Renee Zellweger,
that. That's right.
all potato face and squinty.
Look, just play the blues. She'll pierce the veil,
Uh-huh.
and then you'll be like, she's nice.
Right.
It's possible.
Eric is fixated on piercing the veil right now, like I was with heralding. This is it's a journey he's
I
taking.
thought pierce the veil meant to like get a labia piercing, but I mean, maybe that's just me.
That's referred to as renovating the drapes.
Ah.
Oh, stapling the drapes. Ah.
Oh no. Oh, ouch. No. Nope.
Costs a fortune to heat this place.
What's the easiest way to take blood stains out of a carpet? Not vinegar. Do not use vinegar.
And definitely do not
been
use
washed.
garlic.
Yeah, pickled garlic.
All right, let's wind it down there, gentlemen. Pleasure as always. Hope everybody.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.